In the previous class, we have discussed about the design methods in limit state design, working state design, and load factor method. And we've also discussed about limit state design philosophy. So today we will discuss about stress strain curves of concrete and steel. As per limit state of design, the stress strain curves for concrete can be plotted by assuming the rate of change of stress as constant and rate of change of strain as constant. So you can see in the PPT with curves, the topmost curve gives you the concrete of strength 60 to 45, the below from 45 to 30 and so on, assuming that the rate of change of stress is constant throughout. Perhaps you can see when you consider the rate of change of strain, you can see the curve, the extension of the curve, and you can also see the greater strain values. So as a designer, we have to follow one of the either curves in order to make our design reliable. So it is very much important that we have to idealize these curves. So figure to the right side gives you the idealized curve of cement concrete. It is assumed that the first portion is parabola and next portion is rectangle. And the maximum strain in the concrete is assumed as 0.0035, which means 0.03%, and the straining will commence from 0.00. And the values of these is also provided in SP 16 and IS 456. The strain will commence at a distance of 0.57x if x is considered as extreme from the origin to the right side, and 0.48 will be the rectangular portion. Fine. So if FCK is the value of the concrete curve, idealized curve, then this FCK curve is not taken for the design, because the strength of the concrete tested under compression is not the same the strength of the concrete which is in the structure. I mean to say there is a safe factor effect to it. We are casting a cube and we are taking that strength, but in practical the concrete is not in a cube shape, so there is a safe factor to it. IS code recommended that 0.67% of FCK value shall be considered in order to get rid of this. So which comes the strength of the concrete as 0.67 FCK. But as per the limit state design, we have discussed that partial safety factor for concrete is 1.5. So 0.67 divided by 1.5 multiplied by FCK will give you the design strength of concrete as I have shown here. So you can see the decrease of the stress strain curves from the topmost to the bottom. So the bottommost shows the design curve, the topmost shows the characteristic curve. Proceeding further, stress strain curve for steel is also important in order to make the designs. Now there are two diagrams which you can see here. The leftmost portion is mild steel, the right side is the stress strain curve for high yield strength forms. Mild steel has got a definite yield value, so we can easily understand the maximum strength in the mild steel. The stress strain curve for steel we can see in this slide. The leftmost figure shows you the stress strain curve for mild steel, and right side figure shows you the stress strain curve for high yield strength deform bars. When you are testing a mild steel, there is a linear relation between stress and strain, which you can see in the figure, and definitely we can find it out the yield strength of the material. And as per the design partial safety factors, we have 1.15. So Fy divided by 1.15, which gives a value of 0.87 Fy, is a design curve of steel for mild steel. When you compare the same stress strain curve for high yield steel deformed bars, as you can see, there is no definite yield point there. So what we do is, we'll take 0.2 percentage of strain, which is 0.002, and we draw a parallel line as I shown in the figure, and wherever it touches the curve, that value is taken as a yield strength of deformed bar. And again, partial safety factor, if you divide it, you will get the design strength of concrete. Here we go, we have two problems here which we will discuss in later. Thank you. Let us discuss about the example. The first question which I have given you. Read the question. The question says, you need to calculate the factored load, you need to calculate the service load, you need to calculate the factored moment and factored shear force. So in the first question it is given as, there is a slab of thickness 200 mm and that class consists of class 300, which you need to refer IS 456 part 2, and you need to consider the load combination of dead load and live load. You should be able to calculate the factored load, and from there you can calculate the factored bending moment shear force. So here it is, I have solved. I have written the given data, and in that, when you are calculating the dead load, which is very important, the dead load of reinforced cement concrete from IS 875 is taken as 25 kN per cubic meter. Now if you have 25 kN per cubic meter, you need to multiply with a certain volume in order to get the dead load. So what is the volume of the slab? The volume of slab is given by length multiplied by breadth multiplied by thickness. Length will take as 1 meter, breadth will take as 1 meter, and depth is given as 0.2. So if you multiply with the volume with the specific weight of the material, you will get a load of 5 kN. It is for 1 square meter. Why? Because we have taken one length meter and one meter breadth. For class 300, if you refer IS 875 part 1, the live load is given as 300 kg per centimeter square, which means it is 3 kN per square meter. So you have a dead load of 5 kN per square meter. You have a live load for 3 kN per square meter. So factor load is given as, by considering table number 18 of IS 456. You need to multiply a partial safety factor of 1.5 multiplied by dead load plus live load. This is the total factored load. The factored load says that slab may expected to take 12 kN per square meter in its life period. So for this factored load, we will calculate the design moment and design shear. Design moment we consider as a simply supported beam, WL square by 8. For the same condition, it is WL by 2 for shear. We can easily calculate the bending moment and shear values. So if this is 12 kN per square meter is a maximum factor load which need to be carried by the slab in its life period, as because we are multiplying by 1.5. If you replace with 1, you will get the service load as 8 kN per square meter. This is working load which is always expected on the slab. This is the factor load which is expected in its any time in its design period. We have another question for you. Solve it from your side as an assignment too. Thank you. Now let us begin the understanding of the structural member under flexion. As per limit state of design SP 16, the figure shows you the stress strain block diagrams. Now if you consider as a rectangle reinforced bar of breadth B, effective depth D, effective depth is depth from the center of the reinforcement to the extreme compression fiber, whereas the extreme compression fiber to the extreme tension fiber is the overall depth capital D. The strain diagrams you can see at the center and the stress diagram you can see to the extreme right. FCK stands for characteristic compressive strength of concrete. Fy stands for yield strength of steel. Xmax stands for the maximum neutral axis depth, which defines whether the member is singly reinforced, over reinforced or under reinforced. Now if you can see that there is assumptions which are made in order to draw these diagrams. The basic assumptions which are made in order to plot these stress diagrams are: the plane section, which is drawn normal to the axis of the member, remains plane even after bending, which means that the strain values with respect to the neutral axis is always in the linearity proportion, which means you can see in the diagram the how much is the length which is taken from the neutral axis, that much will be the strain values. The second assumption is the strength of the concrete in compression is taken to be considered, and you can see the value of the extreme, the strain in the concrete value is 0.0035, whereas the strength of the concrete in tension is completely neglected and entire strength is taken by steel alone, and the maximum value in the strain in the steel is taken as 0, should not be less than 0.87 FIES plus 0.002. This value shall be less than the concrete. It is assumed in such a way that the steel shall be failed rather than the concrete, so that a user or an occupant will get a precaution of the limiting of the resistance of movement. The last assumption is we derive the stress diagrams from the concrete, which we have discussed previous class. Now that diagram gives you one of rectangle and the parabolic, and we have discussed that the value of the strength of the concrete is 0.67 divided by 1.5 FCK, which comes to 0.446 FCK. That is the compressive strength of the concrete. And in the SP16 it is clearly said that center of gravity of the stress diagram of the concrete lies 0.416 from the top extreme fiber, and as the strength of the concrete in the compression in the tension is totally neglected, entire strength is taken by the steel alone. So strength of steel we have discussed is 0.87 Fy. By considering lever arm, we can now easily evaluate moment of resistance, which we will discuss in next class. Thank you.